Hello folks, it's Tina Freeman. I'm coming to you today. I want to share a few thoughts with you. When we have family members pass away or close friends, my father just passed away, and it's difficult. It's difficult, but it makes you think of that other realm, the realm of the spirit. Where are they? They're in heaven, right? We'll see them again someday. But I just want to share some scriptures. I'm going to call this the realm of the spirit because our natural mind, our carnal mind, I'm going to go over these scriptures. We can't comprehend some of these things. You know, what the word says that we can't even imagine what he has prepared for us. Our minds cannot even comprehend. So I just want to go over some scriptures because too many times we look at what we can see and not what we can't see, because the Bible talks about those things, the unseen, right? That's part of our faith. I'll list the scriptures in description, but this first one is from, Romans 8, okay? Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires, but those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their minds set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. Okay. Now, Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things, right? On the spiritual. If you know anything about physics, which I don't know hardly anything, but people that do, they talk about these dimensions. There's other dimensions. There's several dimensions. Well, that's part of that spiritual realm, like I said, that our minds cannot understand. Well, what's going on the things that we cannot see? That's what I want to get into. What our eyes cannot see. We can see the things around us, right? But a lot of these things in the spirit, we're not seeing those. The next one is Corinthians 10. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God for pulling down strongholds, casting down arguments and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. Ephesians 6. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, not those things that we see, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. And then it goes on telling you what all our armor is. I'm not going to go into that because I just want to talk right now about this realm of the unseen, right? Okay. I don't know if you remember, I've brought this up in a previous video about Elisha. And when the Syrian king comes and what he sees. So I'm going to read that again on this section. This realm of the unseen, 2 Kings 6. So the Syrian king had already thought there was a traitor because the Israelites would always know where he was going to be. Okay, so they're like, hey, it's Elisha doing it, right? So in 2 Kings 6:13, I'll read from 13 on. So he said, go and see where he is. This is what the king of Syria said, that I may send and get him. And it was told him, saying, surely he is in Dothan. Therefore he sent horses and chariots and a great army there. And they came by night and surrounded the city. And when the servant of the man of God arose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And his servant said to him, alas, my master, what shall we do? So Elisha answered, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. There was no army in the natural there, okay? So Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire, all around Elisha. I love this. So when the Syrians came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, strike this people, I pray, with blindness. And he struck them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha. I just love that, because Elisha was seeing into another realm, right? His eyes were open. There's so many instances of this in the Bible. I mean, look at Saul when he was on the road to Damascus and what he heard and saw, right? Not all of them saw it, or not all of them heard it that was with him. They knew something was going on. But you're seeing into that spiritual realm. Not that we're seeking anything odd, right? But when we're seeking him, he can do these things to where, I mean, I know this is Old Testament, but God can still do whatever he wants to. We limit him too many times. Let's see, Genesis 32. This is Jacob, right? Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. Now when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip. And the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. And he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed. Then Jacob asked, saying, tell me your name, I pray. And he said, why is it that you ask about my name? And he blessed him there. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So we're just to assume that at that point he was wrestling with an angel. That's what everybody says about that passage. Let's look at Daniel. Daniel 10. Daniel had been in mourning for the people of Israel because they were in captivity in Babylon. Now the 4th day, and he had been praying. Now on the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was by the side of the great river, that is the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose waist was girded with gold of Uphaz. His body was like beryl, his face was like the appearance of lightning, his eyes like torches of fire, his arms and feet like burnished bronze in color, and the sound of his words like the voice of a multitude. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision, for the men who were with me did not see the vision, but a great terror fell upon them. So they fled to hide themselves. Therefore I was left alone, and when I saw this great vision, no strength remained in me, and my vigor was turned into frailty in me, and I retained no strength. Yet I heard the sound of his words. And while I heard the sound of his words, I was in deep sleep on my face, with my face to the ground. And suddenly a hand touched me, which made me tremble on my knees and on the palms of my hands. And he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak to you and stand upright, for I have now been sent to you. While he was speaking this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, do not fear, Daniel. From the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. And behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. Now, that's all I'm going to read of Daniel 10. But if you continue reading, you realize that there's some sort of spirit behind these natural kingdoms and places. But, Michael came to him and said, he was warring with this unseen realm, this principality, when he made it to Daniel. But he said, from the first day that you prayed, I was headed to you. But like I said, these things will make you think about that realm that we're not seeing. I think I did a clip on angels too, scriptures from the Bible about angels. And they weren't just only in the Old Testament. What is the one in the New Testament? I mean, there's several instances of angels, but one even in Hebrews, I think, that says, be careful unless you entertain angels unaware. So that's even in the New Testament. And like I said, not that we go seek to see an angel or these things, but God can make these things known to us. And even if we don't see them, we need to be aware of what's going on in the spirit, because it's connected to everything in this natural world that we see. You know, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And how do we wrestle? By his power, through his word, and his power, and put on that whole armor of God. That's a choice. That's something we're supposed to be doing, the helmet of salvation. But like I said, I'm encouraged. I know that a lot of people don't believe in heaven and hell, or these things of the spirit. Some people believe in angels, but they don't believe in demons. I don't think you can have one without the other. And like I said before, we don't turn into angels. That's not biblical when we pass away. My dad's not an angel now. I say fly high, Daddy, but he's not an angel. He's up there with Mama and in Jesus now, praising him today. But anyway, I hope this is encouraging to you and makes you think about a few things. But I'll try to list the passages in the description and any others that I might have left out in this video. But go and be blessed today, and I'll see you another time. Bye.